Right now. That being said, there are some people like myself. For me to lose weight and to get fit and to stay fit, I'm gonna have to make that same decision every single day. Every single day. I know some people could just flip the switch and go 180. I'm not that person.
But the thing is, you make a decision every single day, whether that's the decision, whether that's the decision or the opposite. You make a decision every single day. You either make the decision to work towards getting, reaching that goal, or you make the decision to not work towards that goal. Okay, but you're making the decision every single day.
True, but what you're saying is if one of the days I make the opposite decision, then the truth is I haven't changed. But I have. Because if 6 out of 7 days I make the decision to get up, to eat clean, to go work out, and then on that one day that I don't, when previously there wasn't even one day that I did choose to eat clean or go work out, I've made a change.
Actually, yes, but you're changing. You're just making a series of changes. So now you're just going through changes. Welcome to another episode of the Quotes and Mirrors podcast. I am Relic.
And I am late. I'm also on commentary. And I saw you try to talk kind of fast so we could try to catch up. I don't think that's how it works, though.
What'd you say?
It sounded like you was talking fast, see if we can try to catch up because we showed up a little late. But I don't think that's how it works.
Oh, I wasn't trying to do that, but I think you're right. I don't think that's how it works either.
All right. Well, I tell you what. First of all, I do want to apologize to y'all because we appreciate y'all waiting patiently. My internet, I need to get another extender or something like that going on in this house, but it's just been tripping. Or maybe I need to upgrade my computer. So, at any rate, we didn't have some technical difficulties. I see you agreeing. I need to upgrade my computer. Maybe
it's like you upgraded your house, yo. Like you live, like with Uncle Phil and them now, and then it's like you live in their house now, and that's but your internet is Section 8, and I don't get it.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm doing mine last because I got Mika's computer. I'm about to get the girls some laptops, and then I was looking at mine because I don't use it for anything more than this. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're doing yours last, can you do theirs tomorrow? And then get yours like Thursday.
Understood.
Hey, Rick, we in now, man.
Yeah, man.
Rick commented before we even started. And he texted us.
Yeah, I see he just said text before y'all start. What this mean? I'm sorry, man. I apologize. But nonetheless, welcome to Quotes and Mirrors. Excuse my background, too, because I just happen to be, this is the kids' classroom. We haven't got the decorating it just yet. But we are here, Quotes and Mirrors. I ain't apologizing no more. Okay? All right, we're about to get busy. If y'all don't know what we do, it's in the name. We find a quote, and we reflect on the quote. We do go back and forth, taking turns. Today is my turn. I was actually listening to a book on tape today. Or I guess it's not on tape, is it? Wow, that's how old I am. But I was listening to an audio book today. It's called "Don't Believe Everything." What's that?
My bad. I may or may not be watching the game as I'm potting, but whatever. I don't know why. Yo, the volume keeps going up on its own. That's wild. I don't know why that's happening. It's doing it again. That's wild. Anyway.
Wow. All right. Well, I was listening to a book called "Don't Believe Everything You Think," and that's where this quote came from. The quote, matter of fact, it's a long quote. It's scrolling kind of fast right now. At any rate, it's we cannot change what we are not aware of, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change. By a young lady named Sheryl Sandberg. Again, I heard this in the car on the way home from work. I didn't get a chance to take up Miss Sandberg, but the thing was, the reason this caught my ear, I guess you could say, is because I really wanted to get into. I guess whether or not you agree with the fact that you cannot help but change once you become aware.
Yeah, I don't agree with the second part of this.
Yeah, that was the part that I was like, So I wanted to like break it down. Maybe it's a situation because if you cannot help it, maybe there's some subconscious or unconscious change that's taking place. You know what I mean? So,
but by the way, before we get into that, I just want to point out Rick said, well, Rick is clowning you for saying tape, bro. Like he's.
Yeah, well, I mean, I spoke to that myself, Rick. All right.
Well, I don't know if Fonda's laughing at you, me, or us. And then Chris says having a live pod during Monday Night Football is crazy work, which I agree. If I wasn't watching the game as I was podding, so, but my priorities.
Okay. I want y'all to go ahead and just understand that this is not mismanaged priority. This is multitasking at its best. All right, exactly. That's what's going on.
Exactly.
Also, I'm not watching the game, by the way. So. But yeah, I wanted to see what you thought about this. First of all, let's deal with the first part. You cannot change what we are not aware of.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I think that I could make a case against that first part, but I feel like I would just be nitpicking, and I don't really feel like wasting time nitpicking. And I would have to think some more. But I do feel like I could probably make a case against it, but I'm not.
I would like to hear what you got because I'm also thinking. I mean, because it's possible for you to affect change and not know you affected change.
Yeah, and I think that you could. I just can't think of any examples of it right now, which is why I said I'd rather just move on from it. But yeah, I can't think of any instances right now. But even if I did, I do still feel like I would just kind of be nitpicking, and I don't want to nitpick. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll maybe circle back as the conversation continues.
Yeah, if it comes to me, I'll definitely say it.
All right. So, in that case, let's talk about the second part. Do you think that you can, what do you think about not being able to help making a change?
Yeah. So it says once we are aware, we cannot help but change. Right. I think that there are three things that she left out there. Number one, after you are made aware of something, you have to first acknowledge the need to change.
Okay.
And then after that.
Okay.
And then after that, you need to see where change will lead to progress. And then the third part, which is the hardest part, you have to make the decision to change because it's not automatic. So I feel like and I would really like to know the context in which she said this. Like, I want to know everything else. If this was something that she was saying to be motivational, I don't think I think that it's I was about to say irresponsible, but I don't want to use that word. I don't want to say irresponsible. I just think that it is I think that's dangerous. I do think it's dangerous, which would make it irresponsible because I think it's dangerous because when you just leave it at that, once we are aware, we cannot help but change. That almost to the person that is receiving that, but it's not evolved enough to understand that there needs to be action. To that person, they can just hear, okay, well, all I need to do is be aware of something, and then all of a sudden there will magically be a change. But you got to do the work too.
So what about the statement, which you hear some old cats say? Hey, by the way, can you send Ava the link real quick because she wants to watch? So
I don't have the number.
Is it just on the YouTube? You don't have Ava's number?
Nah, I need you to send her number.
I thought you sent it to her before. I mean, send it to me. I'll send
it to you.
Send it to me.
Okay.
But you've heard the statement before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you have. If you knew better, you do better.
Right.
And so I hear people say that, and every time I hear them say that, I think to myself that the knowledge of doing better does not automatically manifest in the execution of doing better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just know you got the information. You still got to make a move. You still, like you said, you still got to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, that's the thing that kind of caught me. But I was really trying to, because when these statements are made, like I said, today I was in the midst of work. I didn't get to look at the background, but I'm just curious. Like, it seems so. My first thought is, that's not true. But for you to have quoted it, printed it, redistributed it, there had to be something behind it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and I want to know what was behind it. I want to know, where she was going with it. The other things, awareness does not guarantee change. People can do. I said awareness doesn't guarantee change. So now we need to get into the reasons that a person won't change. It could be something like, it could be fear.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are afraid of changing, or just afraid of change. You get so accustomed to things being a certain way, and just the idea of things being different than what you're used to, it's terrifying to a lot of people. It creates this sense of comfort, and in a lot of instances a false sense of comfort, because oftentimes the need for change means that you are going to be able to get to a better place. Mm-hmm. But people just get uncomfortably comfortable. What? Because you're in a situation that's uncomfortable. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? So me as a personal trainer and a nutritionist, I can't tell you how many one-day clients I've had, because people have come to me, and the idea of having a trainer, the idea of wanting to get in shape, wanting to lose weight, wanting to eat right, it's a great idea. They have recognized the idea, the need for change. Okay. But it's not so easy to make the change. So with the place that they are is uncomfortable. They don't like it. They want to lose weight. They want to make these changes. But then the thought of the work that has to go into to make those changes, it's even more uncomfortable. So they decide to get comfortable with this uncomfortable place that they're already in.
That was a lot of comfortables you just said.
I know it made me a little uncomfortable.
I'm just saying. Well, so all right, so I'm waiting for it to come back around. I've been trying to memorize it, I just can't. At any rate, so it says we cannot change what we are not aware of. So again, because we don't know the context, we're gonna do a bit of speculation, right?
Okay.
So I guess this would be most productive when said to an individual that actually desires change, right?
Right.
They know that change needs to happen, but maybe they don't know what change needs to happen. They're just like, I'm not really satisfied with where I am right now, so I need to figure out what's got to change for me to be wherever it is that I want to be, which essentially just means not here, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's say that being the truth right out the gate, you're desiring change, you can't change what you're not aware of. when you become aware of it, because you wanted to change to begin with, I'm thinking like something is going to change, like even without it being intentional, something is going to change. Like maybe, like I've been trying to lose weight forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't lose weight very well. I misplace it, but I find it eventually, right? So, but I want to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is there are some efforts that I make intentional. Like I got my trainer, but I haven't really made a great effort to change my diet.
Mm-hmm.
However, some things have changed. Like my water intake, I'm not even aware, or I hadn't even been aware that I've been drinking like 2 gallons of water a day. Right? Like not even blinking at the fact. I don't have my water bottle with me around, but I got a gallon water bottle. I'll finish it before I even leave the gym.
Like this?
Yeah, but mine's a man's bottle. So
well, listen, mine is too, but my wife Fonda, she took mine, which is all black, so I had to get hers. But whatever. Up yours, jerk. Go ahead.
yeah, as soon as you finish adjusting your bra, then I'll go ahead and finish what I was saying.
By the way, your baby is watching, okay? She just said yippee, I can comment now, okay?
She knows her father is toxically masculine. Okay. but I'm saying that I wasn't even aware that I had been drinking so much water. Because I did want to change. And so where there's certain things that was changing that I wasn't aware of, that I wasn't doing intentionally. And so I think that's where it's kind of, maybe we cannot help change. But this is kind of saying that it's a blanket statement. And I'm curious, like I would love to be like why can't we help change?
Why can't we help change?
Yeah, why can't we help but change? Like why does she believe that once you become aware of a thing that you cannot help but change?
Oh, because she's mistaken. That's why. and there's nothing against her. I'm sure she's a lovely woman.
Fantastically optimistic.
Huh?
It's fantastically optimistic to think that just being aware of a thing makes you want to change it.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Like I don't know if it's optimistic or she's just being naive or or delusional. I don't want to go that far. I don't want to say, and maybe she's speaking for her and maybe for her circle. We got to understand the world that we live in is the world that we live in. And sometimes it's hard to see other worlds when you're just surrounded with the world that you're in. And maybe that's what she sees.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe so. All right, I tell you what, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to say that she is that she is a.
I'm sorry, Fonda
said. You reading the comments? I see
it's a manly pink. Look, if you got to put man in front of it, all right. I'm just saying, you got to validate it with man. Like when people say man purse, you got a purse, homie. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't have a purse, so let's make that clear. I'm trying to remember what's that. Hey, Avon said, what about in a mental health perspective? Hey, Avon, can you elaborate on that a little bit for me?
Yeah. I want to know what you mean by what about in a mental health perspective.
Yeah, me too. I forgot the point I was just making.
You could probably speak to that mental health because you were crazy. So when you became aware that you were a little off, right?
So a psychologist and went into the nut house.
So you couldn't fight the change, right? You couldn't help but change. Is that what?
You know what? I leaned into it. I leaned into it when people started calling me crazy.
Okay. Well, isn't that a change?
Yeah, because it was uncomfortable for me. I generally, grew up not really caring what, when people talked about me. I'm gonna laugh with you. That was really the only thing that ever really bothered me, because it was.
Hold on, what was the only thing that ever really bothered you?
Just the mental health issues and things that I was dealing with. The depression, the anxiety, the PTSD, all of that stuff. It really bothered me. I was when I went into the mental institute, I was in the 8th grade, and my junior high school was pretty much on the same property as the high school that I went to. So a lot of the people I went to junior high school with, I went to high school with. So it was like it carried on over there, and then people in high school were calling me crazy, and it bothered me. It bothered me for a while, but then I decided to lean into it. I was like, you know what? You're right. I am crazy. You remember what Bishop said in Juice? That you know what? I am crazy, but you know what else? You don't remember the rest of it. I'm not going to finish it because David is on here. But
I can't remember it. I can't, and I just saw the clip not too long ago. As a matter of fact, somebody was doing a parody of the clip on IG. But no, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. But she say? Ava said, I mean, like, I'm in a space where my mental health is not the best, and I'm aware now, but I don't know how to change.
See, first of all, this is just the baby just get on the show and be like, my daddy's household is just running amok. Yeah. No. I appreciate her honesty. But so she said, but I don't know how to change. Now, so this actually speaks in direct opposition to the statement, right? Because forget how.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's perfect. What she said is perfect.
Yeah. Forget how you're saying that you can't help but change. Now, okay. So I guess now we got to think about what kind of changes we're talking about, right? Because she's aware that her mental health is not the best. So prior to being aware of that, she wasn't concerned with how she needed to change. Right? But because she became aware of it, now the change is that now she's concerned about how to change.
Right.
Okay. So that kind of makes that, I mean, that kind of speaks to that.
Right, because see, the thing is, if you don't know how to change, then there isn't an automatic change. When you look at the quote, it seems as if as soon as you become aware, there is an automatic change.
Well, I mean, but the change doesn't necessarily mean you do a 180, right? It doesn't mean that once I realize, wait a second, I've been drinking 6 days a week for 6 hours a day. I'm an alcoholic. I don't think I want to do this anymore. No, it does mean that, wait a second, this actually is a little extensive. Now I'm concerned because I'm aware, right? So it doesn't mean that I quit doing what I'm doing, but it does mean that now I'm aware. What's going on? And that's a change.
I don't think that's a change. I think that's an acknowledgement. I think that's an acknowledgement to the problem, but that's not a change, because the change has to occur in the behavior.
Well, but hold on. Because what is it? The first step to fixing a problem is to admit you have one, right? So to go from denial that it is actually a problem to admitting that I have a problem, what's up?
Nothing. It's just text message. It's stupid. It's hey, this. Avon, cover your ears.
Who sent the text message?
I don't know. That's the funny thing. I don't know who this is. Okay. I'm assuming her ears are closed. I don't know, stupid shit. I don't know. Well, go ahead. Right, go ahead.
It's okay. She's guarded.
Right.
No, she's guarded. She hears curse words all the time, but she hears the voice of God and Daddy before she hears the curse word. No worries. Were you gonna say something about the text?
Hell no, not what I just know.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that before going from being in denial that a situation is a problem to admitting that I have a problem, that's a change. Right? And so, and admitting that I have a problem because now I'm aware, like, wait a second, this is a situation where, and I'm just using the alcoholic situation. If you drink it every day and you find yourself in a place where, hold on a second, I need to drink. I honestly feel like I don't feel like myself unless I got a drink in my hand. Now you're aware, okay, and then the admitting that, okay, this is a problem is the change. Not just, even acknowledging is still a change because it's something that wasn't there before.
So acknowledgement. So awareness itself is the change.
But no,
awareness and acknowledgement is the change.
No, because awareness and acknowledgement is not the same thing.
Okay, so the awareness leads to the acknowledgement, and acknowledgement is the change.
Boom. There we go.
Is the first part of what should be a change.
What?
Because see, the thing is, we now have to identify what the change needs to be, because the change needs to be in that scenario that you brought up. The change needs to be not drinking alcohol. Well, at least not the overconsumption of alcohol, right? That's what the change needs to be, not just acknowledging it. So the thing is, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you one of the things that drives me up a wall when I hear somebody say, when somebody admits to having a problem with absolutely no desire to change it. Like, I know I'm this way, but there's no change though. That's not a change. You just know.
But is that? I wonder if that's actually true, because it's pretty interesting for you to identify a thing as a problem, and whether you change it or not is one thing, but having no desire to be better than what you've identified as less than, it seems like that would be instinctive. Like, you would have an instinctive desire. You may not act on it because it's like fat people, right? Let's be real. They want to lose weight. Let me say this: they want to wake up and having lost weight. Yeah, they don't want to wake up and go to the gym and do what's necessary to lose the weight. They don't want to change their diet. They don't want to, they don't want to stop the things that made them fat. They want to be able to do those things and just not be fat anymore.
Yo, Quint, my bad. Quint he said, "Whoa, I'm triggered, fat people." But go ahead. Yo,
I don't have the buffered terminology.
Overweight
is fat. You don't have to be fat. You don't have to be fat. You could be overweight for what is expected for your height and stuff like that, just because you got pounds of muscle. You can still be overweight.
Because that's me. I'm like, yes, I get it.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
I'm not. If they like according to the BMI chart, I'm overweight. But
okay. Well, anyway, what I'm saying is I think that's an instinctive thing. You want to be better. You may not do what you need to do to be better, but you want to be better. What is he saying now?
He said binary trigger. I see. So, but hold on. I want to go back up a little bit before you finish what you were saying. Avon also said part of it, I just started worrying about myself because so much of my time was spent on other people. I spend so much time on other people's problems. I don't know how to fix my own.
Oh,
I think she was connecting that to the mental health comment that
yeah.
she made earlier.
We'll have to address that offline because one of that baby's problems is anybody. Anytime you spend more time on somebody else than yourself, that's the problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the problem. You spend because you're avoiding doing whatever work you got to do on you.
So Avon, are you saying that that's the reason that you don't know how to make the changes for you? Because she was saying earlier she doesn't know how to change. So
Right.
is it because you're so focused on everybody else that you were so busy neglecting yourself that you don't know how to make the changes? I'll wait for her to respond. But go ahead, finish what you were saying though.
Well, so what was I saying? Yeah, you were saying being aware. What did you say? They can be aware that it's a problem, but not want to make the change. And I'm saying that instinctively, I think people want to. And again, I think now I'm thinking more along the lines of the last part of this statement, where you cannot help but change. If you actually become aware of a thing being a problem, I think there's an instinct that says I would like to be better. Most people that I know that smoke want to stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They want to stop smoking. They don't have the willpower to do it, or the discipline or strength, whatever the case. They don't have have it in them to do it, but they want to stop doing it. And that's what anybody, I think, like me. I've had a trainer since January, trying to essentially fool myself that I actually want, like, or should I say, convince myself that I can do this. Because I feel like I can, I just haven't.
So part of it is true change starts in the subconscious mind, not in the conscious mind. Our conscious mind leads us to there's so much like the desire to do things is right there in the conscious mind, but then willpower actually is in the conscious mind as well. But the problem is the willpower is temporary. Willpower doesn't last forever. Willpower doesn't turn into anything permanent until a change is made in our subconscious. So that's where the change actually occurs. So going back to what you were saying, as far as people, as far as the first change being the acknowledgement. What was it? The acknowledgement that you said?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so saying that's the change, but that right there is still on the conscious level, and that change is not going to happen on the conscious level. That 10% of our brains that we use, that conscious right there, it's not going to occur right there. It has to go into that 90%, that subconscious, where the actual change is going to take place. So it's not anything permanent. So put it this way. When we try to make conscious decisions based off of only using our conscious mind, and that subconscious not allowing, that subconscious not stepping in there to, navigate things to make an actual change, that's when we make temporary changes. So we do stuff like, okay, it's the beginning of the year, I want to get in shape, and then you in the gym for 2 weeks, and then that third week comes and then you fall off. There wasn't a real change made. There wasn't a change made there, because that change has to occur on that subconscious level in order for there to be an actual change. Other than that, you just took a vacation from your bad habits. You just took a little vacation, but you went back to being what it was that you are. Like, it wasn't a real change. You are who you are still.
So you saying,
yo, my bad. Quint said, "Whoa, I'm triggered, Jim, for 2 weeks."
well, you saw earlier. Well, first of all, so Avon, what was Avon saying? She said,
"Hold on, I need to scroll back up." Oh man,
yeah.
Let me see something. Give me a second. Okay, she said, these gnats are getting on my nerves. She said, "I think it is after all the hard stuff I went through before. I was scared to go back to looking inside myself, because who wants to go back to the ashes after a fire?
Well, you need to go back to the ashes after the fire, baby. That's how you investigate to see how the fire started.
I'm about to get back to my other podcast, the Rorschach Test. I need to have her on the show because she's saying some stuff. We can uncover some stuff with that. Well, I'm changing the name to the ink blot test, but yeah.
All right. Well, do you think? Because that baby, she's a thinker.
Okay? Yeah, that's why I want to.
Yeah. But I do now. Q said beyond the desire, you need the decision.
Exactly, and that's where the change occurs.
But hold on. So what you're saying is change is not change unless it's forever.
It can't be a change if it's temporary. So yeah,
it can't be changed. So if I turn the light off right now, I didn't change the atmosphere from light to dark because it has the potential to be in light again.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, that's not an apples to apples comparison. If we're talking about,
why are apples so popular?
Huh?
Go ahead. Nothing.
What'd you say?
Why are apples so popular?
because we needed apples and oranges actually, because in case we needed. Never mind. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah. My bad, y'all. We always do that's like every episode we leave y'all on the outside of an inside joke. I'm sorry. Anyway, but
it is an inside joke, so go ahead.
And it's gonna stay there too. But I think that so the purpose, the reason it's not apples to apples is because the purpose of the light switch is to go off when it needs to be off and on when it needs to be on. But if we're talking about making a decision like losing weight, that's something that needs to be a lifestyle change that you need to stick to. That doesn't need to be treated like a light switch. That doesn't need to be on and off.
Okay, given. So, but then that would also say that you can't do anything other than move progressively in this change, because there's gonna be. I mean, in the midst of the change, you're gonna miss a day. You're gonna have a cheat meal.
No. You don't have a cheat meal. You have a treat meal. And that's what I tell my clients. Don't call them cheat meals, because cheat has such a negative connotation, and then guilt is attached to that. You have a treat meal because the thing is, and I'm glad you used the word progression or progress, whatever. I think that's what you said. Because the thing is this, if you're doing everything the way you're supposed to be doing it, then missing a day or treating yourself, it's not going to interfere with progress.
Okay, so first of all, treat day did make me feel better. I ain't gonna lie, it made me feel better. Treat days.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna tell my trainer you said treat day. that made me feel warm inside. So, but what I'm saying is, at some point, I mean, because it's still change. I mean, it's because you don't even know that it's forever. Like, how can you know that it is until it ain't, right? Like, so I mean, it's still change. It's, excuse me, even for you to revert, if you have been a smoker and you don't smoke for 90 days and then you smoke on the 91st day, you can't negate the fact that for the last 90 days you changed. You did something that you have never done since you started smoking before. Say you've been smoking for 5 years. You decide, I'm not going to smoke. And you go 90 days. You can't just negate that. And then on the 91st day, be like, I'm still a smoker. I'm the same smoker I was.
Yo, so Quint said something I think that speaks directly to that. He said, I think a lifestyle change is not a decision. It's a series of decisions over and over again until the decision becomes easier and easier to make.
Right now, that being said, there are some people like myself. For me to lose weight and to get fit and to stay fit, I'm gonna have to make that same decision every single day. Every single day. I know some people could just flip the switch and go 180. I'm not that person.
But the thing is, you make a decision every single day, whether that's the decision, whether that's the decision or the opposite. You make a decision every single day. You either make a decision to work towards getting, reaching that goal, or you make the decision to not work towards that goal.
Okay,
but you're making a decision every single day.
True, but what you're saying is, if one of the days I make the opposite decision, then the truth is I haven't changed. But I have, because if 6 out of 7 days I make the decision to get up, to eat clean, to go work out, and then on that one day that I don't, when previously there wasn't even one day that I did choose to eat clean or go work out, I've made a change.
Actually, yes, but you're changing. You're just making a series of changes. So now you're just going through changes.
Okay, so there's no such thing as you changed.
Yeah.
Instead it's you're changing, because we're speaking to a real-time existence.
Well, it depends. If you keep going back and forth, like if you are the light switch, then yes, it's a series of changes. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But if you just flip that light switch up and just leave it up and decide that this is where it needs to be, then you have made a change, and you haven't made the decision to go backwards.
Okay, so, but again, if I do it, a change essentially is me doing anything that I wasn't already doing.
Okay.
Right. So how permanent it is now, flipping back and forth is a change. Plain and simple. Or shall I say I'm changing. And so if I fall off for that day, it is a change in the routine of me, hitting the gym and eating clean. And then when I go back to that routine, that's a change as well. I think I'm leaning more towards the fact that when you are aware, to the can't help but change thing, because something changes. I think something changes definitely. You have a desire that wasn't in place, or just something changes when you become aware.
Okay, so
even if it's just the need to change. If you weren't aware of let me think. All right, so like this gluten thing that they got going on, right? Well, I say they, but this gluten. But this gluten thing that's happening. I mean, when we was kids, wasn't nobody talking about nobody gluten. You know what I mean? There was no gluten allergies. If you talking about gluten, it was a whole nother situation. You know what I mean? Well, nobody talking about no gluten, nothing. But once we became aware, now all of a sudden, everybody was like, yo, I think I got a gluten allergy. You know what I mean? And you eat something, and like, matter of fact, Mika got some gluten-free Oreos the other day. I know that's gonna hurt your feelings. I know, but
why?
But you like Oreos.
I know. Yeah, I eat them gluten-free. That awful. That's just awful. But continue.
What's awful? A gluten-free Oreo?
Yeah, gluten-free anything. A gluten-free world. Just saying gluten-free. It's just awful.
Well, yo, I'm gonna tell you what. I had a couple of the Oreos just to taste them, and they're different. They're different, and like, so now I would have rather have the gluten-free Oreo than the regular. You know what I mean? But just being aware, like you make a change, even if you never have the gluten-free. Being aware that there is a such thing as a gluten allergy makes you think differently, concerning it.
So just the thinking is the change. So because if so, that makes this even more dangerous.
Well, yeah, the fact that you're thinking about something you're either thinking about something new or you're thinking about something in a new way. That's a change.
Yeah, but if this is what she meant, which I don't think that that's what she means, but if that's what she means, then that makes the statement even more dangerous, because that it acknowledges it acknowledges acknowledgement, but it does not acknowledge accountability. And accountability, and so it's according to what you're saying, it's like all I have to do is just acknowledge that there is a problem, and that's good enough. I've made a change.
No. You have to understand that doesn't. It's just like when they say the first step to recovery is acknowledging you have a problem. Mm-hmm. The bigger problem that more people have is that they never take the second step, right? But it's necessary. So the to take the first step is a change, but taking the first step by itself is not the change. Like this, the only change that's necessary.
Right. And I don't know. I just don't see. So you're basically saying there's a change because you have more information now.
Yeah. There's a change because you have that. I guess that's probably the way to put it.
But is that what she's saying though? We cannot help but to change. Like it, because if that's what she's saying and she's leaving it at that, again, I land on that's very dangerous, because to the person that is receiving that is not evolved enough to understand how much further that should go, they may just be fine with, you know what? I know that there needs to be a change, and then that's fine enough. And maybe that person is so weak. Let me not use that word. Maybe that person is so unevolved that they believe that just acknowledging the fact that there needs to be a change is kind of like seeds being planted. So now they're just waiting around for water for those seeds and sunlight for those seeds so that something can grow, instead of realizing that they themselves have to do the work to make the change. So now they're just sitting around waiting for something to happen, something miraculous to happen, so that they can change. But no, you have to get up and do the work, which is why I said what I said. I said there are 3 other steps that she left out.
Okay, well, let me ask this. All right, because again, I'm not talking about just being the end all, period. Yes, you're being aware, and that's the only change that's necessary. Because but we have to go back to the first part of the statement. Can you make a change without being aware?
I think you can, but like I said, I got to really sit and think with that. But I think you can make a change. I think you can change something without realizing that that something needed to change.
I believe that's called an accident.
But it was still a change.
Okay, I'm just saying. I think it would definitely have to be called an accident.
Yeah. I mean, we can call it an accident, but if you're unaware that something needs to change, but you just happen to make the change, then it happened. Like you made a change and you weren't even aware of the fact.
We don't have an example yet.
Huh?
You have an example yet? I can't think of one off the top either, so I'm not judging.
I can't. But it's 7.9 billion people in the world. I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure.
There's not more than 7.9 billion people yet. You've been saying that for like 4 years.
I know, but I counted yesterday. I don't know. Somebody kept moving, so I may be off. I think it was Quint. He played too much, man.
You know what? Chances are.
Yeah.
Chances are. He would be like, here, and then turn around and go, here. just to throw the count off, just to make you start over. But I mean, I think you have to acknowledge the change that comes with awareness in order to continue to change, in order to continue to grow. You have to acknowledge to begin with, I'm aware now. Now I'm responsible for this information. Because again, that's you were talking about accountability. Where does it say in the Bible, fools despise wisdom and understanding? Because once they have wisdom and understanding, they're now accountable for that information. Right. And that alone also is a change. You have an accountability, whether you choose to own it or not. There's an accountability that comes with awareness. Like one thing we do often that just pisses my wife off. If you walk past a sock that's on the stairs and you just run up and down the stairs and you keep walking, you seen that sock. Okay? You seen that sock. She saw you see that sock, and you. I don't know if you have a comment or if you're just holding yourself accountable.
Not the second part. I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Why is there a? Oh, never mind. Nothing. Okay, go ahead. I was about to say, why is there a sock on the step? But never mind. I'm just going to put it on the 9. I'm going to say he's the reason that there's a sock on the step.
Well, I mean, but I feel like you're not listening to me. The sock does not matter. It can be a sock. It could be a spoon. It could be a truck. It doesn't matter. The fact is, it don't even have to be on the step. The fact is that you seen it and you didn't pick it up. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So you become aware, and because you become aware, because you saw it, and she knows we see that stuff. She knows we see that stuff. And then nobody pick it up. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to say it was a comedian that was talking about that very same thing. But you put a $5 bill on the step, I guarantee you ain't nobody running past it. You know what I mean? That's just another thing. But what I'm saying is that because
you put something of value right there.
Huh?
See, when you present me with something that's valuable and I don't have to work for it, yeah, I'm gonna get on top of that. But see, picking up that sock requires work, because not only do I have to pick the sock up, I gotta go figure out where to put it. And if it's only one sock there, I probably need to go find its spouse.
Maybe sibling. I would imagine they're twins to some degree. But at any rate, what I'm saying,
my socks, they married.
Okay. Jesus, what?
They having sex right now. Like this is
wow.
Amen,
did you go to see?
Her. Okay, whoa, okay. Let me stop. I was about to go too far. Okay, my bad. Y'all stop it. Y'all don't know. I can't take y'all nowhere. That's why. Shoot, exactly. I'll walk all over you. Okay. All right,
Amen.
my bad.
Lord have mercy. You just gonna have socks live on the podcast.
She's laughing.
Jesus. But what I'm saying is the reason we get in trouble because we are aware that the sock is on the stairs. Thereby, we become accountable, but we don't pick it up. So that again in and of itself is a change. You know what I mean? And so, I think as we continue to unwrap this and talk about this, something changes. You can't help it. Something changes when you become aware. So it may be the beginning of a change. It's not the only thing that needs to change, whatever the case, but something changes when you become aware.
All right, that's cool. And I'll agree with you with that. But I also have to continue with what I was saying as far as that's dangerous.
I don't get the danger.
Because if that's the change, like there need to be more changes.
Yeah, but when you say dangerous,
so the reason I'm saying that it's dangerous is because number one, what is her purpose for making this comment? So if she says, hold on, I want to wait for it to come back around so I can read it. Okay, so if she is telling people we cannot change what we are not aware of, And once we are aware, we cannot help but change. What is she saying? Who is she saying this to and why? Because to me, the way that I'm taking this, it seems as if she's saying, it's if she's telling me this, it seems like she's telling me, hey, you first need to be made aware of the things in your life that need to change.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have made aware, so and according to what you're saying, if and I put the two together, then what happens is now that I'm aware, a change has been made.
Some
And that's
change
that.
was definitely
Exactly, which is why that part is dangerous. I need her to elaborate at this point. What else has to happen? Like, and I need to know what change is she talking about? Because if that's the change that she's talking about, then this is dangerous because it stops right there. But if that's not the change that she's talking about, I need her to elaborate.
Well, but see, I think it would be super, super duper ignorant to think the becoming aware and is all that needs to happen. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? For you to think that like I'm done. I know you're sitting there. I'm done. I know I got a pain in my leg. I'm done. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't, you know. I'm not understanding how just the awareness alone is all to feel that that's all the change that needs to happen. Now, as far as you can't change anything, what we're not aware of, you're in a loving relationship and you want to be able to do whatever you need to do for your wife. But if she don't tell you that something that you're doing gets on her nerves or pisses her off or hurts her or whatever, then you don't know that you need to adjust whatever so that it doesn't do that. So in that, you can't change what you're not aware of. If she ain't told you that it makes her, that it upsets her, that it irritates her, you can't address it.
Yeah, but what if she tells me and now I'm aware of it, but I still don't do anything about it?
Well, see, now the change is that you're disregarding the fact that you know that it irritates her. So before, you were just doing it. You were just doing your thing. You were completely unaware that it was bothering her. Now you know that it's bothering her. So now the change is this: you're now doing it to some degree to bother her, when before you weren't.
Not necessarily. What if what if it ain't got nothing to do with her? I just don't want to change me. It's like, I'm not doing this to get under your skin. I'm doing this because this is who I am and I have no desire to change.
Okay, so what you're saying is, just in that example right there, if your wife tells you that something that you're doing bothers her, that but it doesn't bother you, right? So because it doesn't bother you, it's as if she never said that it bothers her.
No, I can acknowledge that she said that it bothers her, but it doesn't bother me enough to care to change or to, it could be, you know what? It doesn't bother me and I don't understand why it bothers you. So you need to figure this out. Or it could be it bothers me and it doesn't make sense that it bothers you. Like let's say, and thank you God for not letting me have a wife like this. But let's say that I want to watch football on Sundays and she's trying to stop me from watching football. And she's like, you know what? You spend all day on Sundays watching football and that bothers me. And I want you to make a change. I heard you. But can you keep your voice down because the game's on?
well, understand, and this is just people across the board. Yeah, you did hear it. You were still listening. Just because it didn't change my circumstance, don't mean I wasn't listening, right? But you are now doing it aware I would imagine you're going to do it differently, because you're now doing it aware that because this is a matter of fact, because that in particular, I would imagine so many wives deal with that. It's not an unreasonable complaint, or should I say uncommon complaint.
Okay. Oh, okay, because it is unreasonable, but okay, go ahead.
I wouldn't. I don't know. Because mind you, I don't watch sports, so it wouldn't be unreasonable to me. I don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I do think. I mean, I think it's wild when football season starts, and now Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, and later on Saturdays are done because the game is on. That's wild to me.
Okay,
but I also.
But let me ask you this though. Christmas Day. Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah.
Same thing. That's same thing.
What's the thing?
What it's Christmas on Sunday, on Monday, on Thursday, and later on Saturday. It's just Christmas. Yeah,
for like what? For like 4 months, 5 months.
I mean, you want to start with preseason. We got August and September, all the way up until February. Yeah.
You're actually not meant to enjoy this part of the conversation, but you're having a good time. But I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that
my socks are happening right now.
Jesus, Ava, just go to sleep, please, baby. This Negro, he just. But no, but I'm saying, I think the awareness. There's definitely. There's a change. There's a change in the way that you're doing it because you're, even if just for a moment, but I think there's a definite change because to know, that it bothers you now would be doing it just disregarding and dismissing that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think just like every other Monday night, we just gonna have to agree to disagree. And it's okay because all that means is there's no change. Like we are what we are.
No worries, but I think I am going to look more into it because I know she's an author, she's a philanthropist, and a couple other 3-syllable words, but
I saw.
Yeah, so I think I am going to look into it a little bit further. But I initially, like I said, I didn't agree because I was like, well, whatever. I'm not going to change just because I know. But then, as we're talking about it, I really do feel like something changes. Everything doesn't change, and everything may not change from that point forward as far as like a 180. But there is some change. So we're just gonna have to get Miss Sandberg's number, call her, text her. She probably got an IG.
I'll do it. I'll get in contact with her and get her on the show.
Yo, that would be dope.
It would be.
Honestly, that would be dope. It would be dope to get any person still alive with you making the quotes or using, making the quotes that we use from them. It'd be dope to have them on the show. See what the perspective was. Where was you coming from? Because right now we're doing a lot of speculation. And we could actually do better on that if I was doing more research on why she said this, when she said this, what was the setting, who was the audience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of that could actually happen. So, but at any rate, we're going to agree to disagree. I think that you cannot help but for there to be some change once you become aware.
And I think you need to change your mind.
You wouldn't have said that if you didn't know that's how I was thinking. So hold on, you got your quote for next week?
Yeah, I got it. So
I hate when you have it.
You hate when I'm prepared.
I do, because it puts pressure on me.
So the quote for next week is, judge a man by the reputation of his enemies.
Hold on. Judge a man by the reputation of his enemies?
Yeah.
Not you don't judge a man by the reputation of his enemies, or you can judge a man. It's just it's a directive. Judge a man by the reputation of his enemies.
Yeah, this has been attributed to like different sources. Like I saw that this person said, and somebody else said, like I can't pinpoint who exactly said this, but I'll try. I'll ask Chat GPT. Yo, Chat GPT is like, we're like really close. Yo, really close.
Yo, Chat GPT is pretty dope, and it's the simplest of AI tools, because I'm only aware of a few others, but Chat GPT, I love the way that it stores information, and later you can actually ask it, you know what do you think of me?
Right. Right. Yo.
Yeah. This is how people have computer love. This is exactly what's going. This is exactly what happened. Weak-minded individuals in full-on relationships with 2 terabytes of information.
Listen, I mean, it works for some people, man. I mean, you can't really judge people. Your cousin is sitting over here playing with socks and calling it sex.
Yeah, but look, I'm judging anybody that is engaged in holy chatrimony. Yeah. There's a problem. There's a problem. Log off. Okay.
Speaking of logging off, that's what we about to do.
All right, cool. So hold on. So the quote again was, judge a man
by the reputation of his enemies.
All right, now this isn't going to be specific to male. We talking about man as in mankind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's going to be interesting. I don't think I have any enemies.
I don't have any more. Yeah. Dag, that sounds like I exterminated them all, and I'm gonna leave it like that too. Like whatever. Just think what you want. I don't have any more enemies.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Quotes and Mirrors. We appreciate y'all coming along for the ride. I am Commentary.
And I am Relic. And on that note, and I quote, hey, listen, make some changes in your life, okay? Look in the mirror. Make that change. Exactly. Now that you're aware, make the changes that you need to make. If you're having trouble making the changes, man, holler at me. Hey, check this out. Like, subscribe, comment, all of the stuff that people say in them YouTube videos and all the other stuff like that I suck at. But hey, just do the stuff that they say to do, but do it for us. And yeah, we appreciate it.
Do all the things. That's what they say now. Do all the things.
Do all of the things. Do all of the things. And we appreciate everybody who joined us. Yeah, I'm about to go sock puppet time. All right.
I'm out. Peace.